Good morning from New Story Community Books in downtown Marshall. Today is August 12th, 2023, and we are coming to you live. So, what am I reading this week? This week is a little bit of a off week or a weird week for me. I am trying to read Murakami's Wind Up Bird Chronicles. It's a good book. It's pretty intense. I've had to go back and reread a couple sections and had to stop and start. Normally, I could knock out a book a week easy. This one's taking me a bit longer. Yeah, so we're not going to talk about that this week. I won't give you a review on that one. I'm going to keep on working my way through it. But to distract you, I'm going to show you some really cool, beautiful titles. Hey, camera. Hey. Hey, camera. Over here. Trying out a new camera, and this is probably about the worst thing that could happen. Come on, camera. And there we go. All right, so this new camera's got auto tracking, but if I go a little bit too far off screen here, if I get too close to the edge, sometimes it gets zoomed in on something else and it forgets where I'm at. Hey, camera, look at me. All right, so I'm going to distract you with some beautiful books for the fact that I haven't finished reading a book this week. So this is Beautiful Stained Edges. I cannot believe nobody's been in to pick this up yet. It's a signed first edition by the author. Beautiful, wonderful stained edges. This would look really good on the shelf of somebody who's already got some stained edges and cute stuff, or somebody who's looking to start their collection. Maybe you want to pair it with your cool fourth wing. Maybe you want to stick it there while you wait to get your fourth wing. It's an amazing book in and of its own right, and it's also quite beautiful. So there's some distraction for you. Okay, let's move along. What's happening this week? So this week, all of our humor, our kids and grown-up humor, is buy one get one 50% off. That starts tomorrow and runs through next Saturday. And that means if you're looking for dad jokes too, or some Visco girl wisdom, or maybe you want to relax with some Bob's Burgers Mad Libs, these are all part of our buy one get one 50% off sale on humor this week. That runs today through next Saturday. Normally I'd have the dates written in my notes. I didn't write the dates on my notes. Ugh. All right. You can still use a promo code ice cream, all one word, capital letters, ice cream. Gets you 25% off any one item on the website. That only works through the 15th though. So you just got a few more days for that. What else we got going on? Okay, so we have our water bottle event coming up 8/19. So this is going to be easy. Come in at any point during the day with your kids. You're getting ready for back to school. We got cool metal and glass water bottles. It's $10 to $15. You get the water bottle, and they get to decorate it with stickers. You get up to 10 stickers. Fill it up, make it look cool, send them on the way, give them a little bit of agency on things that they're picking out to take back to school, because they can be a little crafty and creative and decorate it the way that they want. So that's 8/19. You can pop in for that. We do have an educator event scheduled for 9/23. That gives educators a chance to get back into your classroom, kind of like see what your student population is like, look at the books that you've already got in, and then we will announce a special after-hour shopping event with special discounts and things going on for educators. So you'll be able to shop that whole day for the extra discounts, or online we'll have a coupon code for you, or you can come in the evening and have a cool, fun special event. So that is 9/23. Be on the lookout for that. We are also that's Friday. The following day, we have a grown-up book fair scheduled at Territorial. So we'll be partnering again with Territorial and Brewing and Kingman Museum, and we're gonna have a really cool, fun grown-up book fair. It is going to be like the Scholastic Book Fair, but for grown-ups. So there's beer, books. We're gonna have scratch and sniff books and choose your own adventure books and humorous books and slap bracelets and Tamagotchis and grown-up book fair. Territorial Brewing, Kingman Museum, 9/23, 9/24. It's that Saturday. So that's what's coming up. That's where you're going to be able to find us, besides in beautiful downtown Marshall. We'll also be at Bewitching Peddlers on 9/30. So that's an amazing, cool art Halloween show that happens. You got artists that come from all over the country. They set up and they have these really cool, fancy, fun Halloween decorations, decor, costumes, candles, crafts, amazing art. That's out at March Fairgrounds. That same day, we'll kick off the Skeleton Fest down here in downtown Marshall. It's like the giant kickoff for Halloween. So that's 9:30 in Marshall. You can check out Bewitching Peddlers on social media, or you can check out Choose Marshall for some of the Skeleton Fest stuff. Okay, still on the hunt for section experts. If you want to talk about books, I want to talk to you. So we can do this a few different ways. Give me a ring, send us an email. We are looking for folks who have a passion or a love for particular subgenres or genres of books. We'd like to kind of explore those with you and kind of maybe share those with the world. All right. Um, Today we are going to talk about sci-fi books you can read in one sitting. So sometimes you just want something short, maybe cleansing a palate between one series and another series. Maybe you're just kind of like struggling finding something to read, or you just want to explore something new. These are all going to be sci-fi books that you can generally read in one sitting, so they're on the shorter side, but they're still really, really good books. So let's take a look at some. Ursula Le Guin's The Lathe of Heaven. George Orr's dreams change reality. So his psychiatrist tries to use Orr's gift to fix the world. He asks Orr to dream a dream in which there is no longer any racial strife. The result is a world in which everyone is gray skinned and looks exactly the same. Then he asks Orr to dream a dream in which humans no longer fight. The result is an alien invasion that unites humanity so they're no longer fighting with each other. The psychiatrist is incredibly frustrated in regards, or is just basically being incompetent. So he decides that he's going to develop this technology to steal the gift for himself because he can control reality and make it better. So this is Ursula K. Le Guin's The Lathe of Heaven. It's only like 200 pages, 181 pages, 181 pages. Le Guin was really kind of exploring the idea of perfection and how we always think like, oh, I could just make things perfect if I could just change this thing, and how that always has unintended consequences. So it is an interesting book, interesting exploring the ideas of reality, interesting in exploring our own ideas of perfection, and yeah, it's a fun book. It is a quick read, and it's maybe not Le Guin's most intense book, but it's definitely worth reading. All right, I, Robot. This is a classic. This is classic Asimov. This is where he introduces his three laws of robotics. It follows the development of robotic life from when robots were very first created, and their very initial stages, all the way up through the beginning of Asimov's Robot series. His Robot series, if you've never read it, amazing, really, really big and intense. It actually leads into his Foundation series, which is his more popular series. But this is the beginning of that. This is I, Robot. Not at all like the movie. So if you've seen the Will Smith movie, that's fine in and of itself. But set that aside, this is very, very different, even though they claim to have the same source material. So fantastic, 224 pages. This is one you can read in one sitting. Interesting, thought provoking, and Asimov just has a good style. So, I, Robot, Isaac Asimov. All right, Becky Chambers. Becky Chambers is a great author. She's written several things that are definitely worth reading. This is a standalone novella. Um, yeah, so it is. It's one of those like if you like professionals doing professional things really well. She's written that really well here. So this is about space exploration. It's about it kind of glosses over, but provides the idea that humanity has developed the technology to do deep space exploration. Um, it starts out really nice and light. It ends surprisingly deep. Asks some really important questions about the way that the world changes when you're not present, about exploration. It's just a really fun, easy book. It's just over 150 pages. You can definitely knock this one out in one sitting. That's Becky Chambers, To Be Taught If Fortunate. All right, this one's a trick. I am definitely cheating. So this is Wild Robot. I'm cheating because this is technically a kid's book. It's a middle grade book. It is really, really sweet. Roz is a robot who, after leaving the factory, there's a shipwreck, and Roz washes up on the shore as the only survivor of this robotic little, like, I guess, mini apocalypse where the ship is wrecked. Anyway, Roz washes up on the shore of an island. It's kind of hinted that it's up somewhere near Canada, and it's all just full of animals. There's no humans. There's no other robots. It's just Roz, and Roz is a little damaged, and Roz is unsure of what happened or who Roz is, and Roz is attempting to figure out who they are, and then also they have this longing, this need to communicate. And so, because Roz is a communication robot and has this need, Roz starts watching the animals and watching nature. And Roz learns to read and listen to nature and then to communicate with the animals. And it's a very sweet way of Roz learning to be in the world, having mistakes, admitting those mistakes, trying to make up for those mistakes, trying to make the world a better place. It's really cute in that it's outside of what we normally think of for like sci-fi, where you're trying to do that. People always want to think about sci-fi like Star Trek, where we're like post scarcity and we don't use money, or some of those like sci-fi things where they try and paint a utopia. This is very like small, micro level, and it just kind of explores the inner person. It makes you want to go, gosh, I want to be a better person. I want to be more like Roz. I'm going to be like Roz the robot. There's some action, there's some adventure, but it's mostly just kind of a cozy like robot story. 260 pages, but those 260 pages are relatively large print because it is a middle grade book. So definitely recommend this. This is one of my favorites. I always recommend this to middle graders. I recommend it to grown-ups. Wild Robot. There's also Wild Robot Escapes that comes after this. Fantastic books. All right, let's do another Becky Chambers. This is probably my favorite Becky Chambers book. Psalm for the Wild Built is a fun, short book about a T-monk and a robot. So in this world, it is post-apocalyptic, but not in like a grandiose or bad way. It's just the world's kind of falling apart. Humans have retreated to some urban centers and mostly left nature to do its thing. Robots have walked away from humans to be free and be their own thing. They mostly live separately. They do not communicate. And then the main character, one of the main characters, is a T-monk. So his job is he gets in a cart and he pedals or uses horse-drawn carriage because we're post-apocalyptic, so there's not a lot of fuel. And he goes to different communities and he serves tea and he listens to people's problems and acts like a therapist. So he's there mostly for a listening ear, to serve some tea, maybe offer a word or two of advice. And he goes town to town and people enjoy this and people come to meet with him. And Robot comes in while he's in between towns and has some trouble, and Robot helps him. But Robot's mission is to go and ask humanity, what do you need? And that's an open-ended question. The robots in general have held a council and they want to be connected with humans, but they kind of want to know what's going on in humanity. What does humanity need? So Robot is going along with the monk and kind of listening, and they interact. A lot of the stories about their interactions with each other and them learning about each other. It is 147 pages. It is fascinating. It is a cozy sci-fi. All right. Annihilation, Jeff Vandermeer. So this is closely related to the movie that came out. The movie was based on this as source material, but they're a little different. This is well written. It is weird. It is unsettling. It is a good read. So I'm not exactly sure how to best describe this series. The Southern Reach series is strange. So I'm just going to read like the first paragraph from the description and see if that can tickle your interest. Area X has been cut off from the rest of the world for decades. Nature has reclaimed the last vestiges of human civilization. The first expedition returned with reports of a pristine landscape. The second expedition ended in mass suicide. The third in a hail of gunfire as its members turned on one another. The members of the 11th expedition returned as shadows of their former selves, and within weeks, they all died of cancer. In Annihilation, the first volume of the Southern Reach trilogy, we joined the 12th expedition. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It is 195 pages. It is weird. It is interesting. It's very different from other sci-fi that I've read. That's Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation. Veronica Roth. We all know Veronica Roth. She's written some bestsellers. This is just a standalone. It is a standalone retelling of Antigone. It's interesting. It's just over 100 pages. It is a fun, quick read. It is Veronica Roth's retelling is sort of, gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It was intense. I absolutely loved it. When I put it down, I just had to kind of breathe and not read anything for a day to kind of be like, oh, that was good. Veronica Roth's writing style is great. So this is Arch Conspirators, Veronica Roth, about 100 pages, easy to knock out. Almost there. Next to last on our list, Douglas Adams. This is another classic sci-fi, full of humor. Super interesting. When I thought about like when I was looking for books to put on this list, and I thought about this one, I'm like, I remember it being so much more. Like, but it's only 200 pages. It's 200 pages. It's humorous. It's quick. Um, yeah, if you haven't read it in a while, it's definitely worth a read. I love the beginning when he's dealing with his home being torn down to make room for a thoroughfare, and then it turns out that the earth is being torn down to make room for a thoroughfare. And grab your towel and let's go. This is a funny read. If you haven't read it in a while, it's worth a reread. If you've never read it before, you're missing out. Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, last book on our list. Martha Wells, All Systems Red. This is my favorite book from the list. Absolutely fabulous. This feels like a serial Western. She's written several of these. Most of them are novellas. There's a full-length novel out, and a full-length novel that comes out in November. I've read that one too. Fantastic. We'll talk about that. This, though, Murderbot is funny. It's freeing. Murderbot is a robot, a construct, a clone, a cyborg, some of all of those things kind of mashed together. I like that she doesn't get like marred down in the intricacies and technicalities of that. Just kind of like lets it go. Like he's not in the series. Bots are completely robots, and then he's a construct. So clone, construct, cyborg, all those things kind of meshed together, but they don't go really in depth into separating those out into categories. Murderbot is probably the most human robot you'll ever run into. He's full of anxiety, despite the fact that he's phenomenally good and professional at what he does. He's also full of anxiety about not being good at what he does, which I can completely relate to. He likes to swear a lot. He tries to save as many humans as he can, despite having a name like Murderbot. But that's explored in the series. He was constructed for one purpose and wants to do another. Think RoboCop in space, but out of control, but ultimately really trying to be a hero and the good guy. Fantastic series. Lots of fun, irreverent stuff happens in it. It's funny. It's only 149 pages. You could definitely knock this out in one sitting. And then as soon as you do, you're going to want to grab the next one and knock that one out too. That's Murderbot by Martha Wells. All right, so that's what I have for you today. I still don't have a good outro for this. Looking for some words to say here at the end. I'm just going to say, go find something good to read.